And you've always got to protect the brand every single time. Scared money don't make money. I touched about it a little bit. We sold the house. I put all that money back into the business on me. So here I sold 2 security companies, a few $1,000,000, stuck it in there. Sold a house on Lake Norman, a couple $1,000,000, stuck it in there, no paycheck. I let it all ride on me. And I'm glad I did, because we're sitting with 2,200 employees. And like I said, we did almost 600 million in sales last year. We'll do probably $1 billion this year. You have to be able to bet on yourself. If you can't bet on yourself, nobody will bet on you. If you can't be a leader and set forth that map and show people that you're all in, why would they follow you? People follow people they believe in. And people won't believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. That's a fact. And I know people say that, but you really got to look in the mirror and give yourself some affirmation sometimes to say, I believe in what I can do. I believe in who I am. I believe in what I'm going to do today. I believe in how I'm going to handle this. And you got to make decisions and not second guess it. Too many times we all sit in the mud. Should I do this? Should I do that? What do I do? Just make a damn decision. Let your intuition kick in, make a decision, and don't look back. There's no such thing as a wrong decision. You just get different results. It's not wrong. You make the best of your decision, because the moment you make a decision and then you look back, you didn't give this one a fighting shot because you're worried about what you didn't do. And we're all guilty of that. And really, scared money don't make money means you're betting on your decision. Like, I'm making this decision, I'm done. Not thinking about it. My eyes are in the front of my head for a reason. That's my choice. Move on and deal with the consequences and the results you get. When you do that, more things happen. When you sit in the mud and you contemplate back and forth, you're really failing. That is failure. That is regret, right? Turn failure into fuel. So that leads right into it. So in my eyes, I hate the word failure, or dislike the word failure. I don't like to use hate either. But failure is something that we all can associate with. You know, did I fail in school? Yeah, I kind of did. English was bad. I can't spell for anything. I can do some math, though. Did I fail in parenting? Well, of course. I was probably a C with my first kid. She's 23. I got 2 grandkids. I'm probably a B+ with my 4th. So in between, it got a little better, right? But we all have these struggles and failure. I have an episode in my podcast, 25 jobs before I was 24. I had 25 jobs before I was 24. That's a lot. Now, I don't know if that's failure, but that's a lot. Okay? I learned a lot of stuff at 25 different places. I mean, places from Pizza Hut to Captain D's to Boston Market, which I loved, and I was there like 9 months. I was there long. You know, that's a long time for me. To First Union, to AT. But my point is you learn these things with failure, or what I like to call opportunities. You learn things from people. When I'm around different people, I learn stuff every day. I don't believe how much money you are or how high your title is. That doesn't mean you're successful. What success is fulfillment and happiness, and what you can give back and elevate other people, right? And what you learn from other people. What I love most about the podcast stuff that I do is that I learn from everybody I bring on that episode. I'm like, whoa, that's gold. I need that. Like, I learn every single time. You can't have enough people out there that you can learn from. Everybody should have a coach, and everybody should be a coach, because everybody's at a different level in their life where they got to go ahead and elevate and step up. And everybody can help everybody do that. I've went from a coach to a CE coach to a personal brand coach to a public company coach, right? Because we're trying to take our company public. All these steps that I do, that I learn, that I elevate and level up with. But you got to have some humility, and you got to be humble enough to say, I don't know everything. Like, I got to learn from other people. The moment you think you know everything, you are going the wrong direction. And I can tell you that. There's been many times I was like, I can do our books. I can do that. I can do... No, you can't be great at everything. You're going to be great at a couple things. And that's all. That's all you need. Find other people around you to be great, right? So turning failure into fuel is learning from your mistakes, your opportunities, and applying that to be better. Love your haters. So we talked about my mother-in-law. So I've had a lot of haters. If you follow my social media, I just was talking to my old mentor, my boss at Verizon Wireless. He's maybe going to take a job with us. I'm super excited about that. It's a little weird, but I'm super excited about that. But he's like, dude, every time you guys post, man, sometimes you got people out there like hating, running their mouth. I said, well, dude, we got 35,000 customers. Not everybody's happy. I wish they were, but That's not how it works, right? You could be Disneyland and people are still pissed. Also, we run an aggressive management team. We have an 80-20 rule. So if you're in that bottom 20 and you get fired, you probably didn't belong there. The first thing you're doing is going to social media and blasting people. And because my face is everywhere, which I don't like, we're trying to change, you're blasting me. You're like, this guy with his white hair and his hands up thinks he's Jesus. He's doing this. Like, this is the things people are saying and I get it. I'm like, ooh, that's pretty bad. They don't like me. Ooh, I got it. But I love that stuff. It fuels me. I love when people say, you can't open a business, you didn't go to school. Bing! I love to prove them wrong. You can't do this, you're worth that. You won't make money, you can't. I remember leaving the home security group, every one of them in Mexico. We won this trip, all these dealers went to Mexico, we're sitting there, and I'm telling them, I'm getting into solar. They're like, ha! Have fun with that, dude, good luck. How are you gonna do solar in North Carolina? I'm like, I'm going to. They're like, have fun with that. All it did is motivate me. I didn't get angry. I don't get pissed off. I get motivated. Because I just want to stuff success down their throat, secretly. Like, I don't want to just stuff it down the throat and giggle. And I always tell them, look, you better get you some popcorn, and a soda, and some licorice. I'm going to put on a damn show, right? And that's what I plan on doing. I put on a show every single day. I put on that show. I want the haters to watch me, because if they're watching me, and I'm watching me, that's a lot of people watching me, I'm growing, and they're staying the same every single time. And I believe that there are 3 categories. I'm going to get back to my mother-in-law in a second. There are 3 categories of areas of hate, love, or intimidation that we're in at all times. And every one of us have been in all 3 of these. The first one is love and success. You love to see successful people. You love to encourage and empower. You love to learn from people. You love to see winners. You get excited to see winners. You get happy when people are buying cool things and going on vacations. You're smiling all the time. You're smiling for them. You love that because you love what they're doing and you love the opportunity that you may get to do that. Or maybe you love doing it and you love sharing that opportunity with people. That's the best spot to be in. That's where I'm in right now. That's a good spot. Number 2 is intimidated. Now, we all know these people, probably family, relatives, friends, that as you started to become more successful, they didn't hate you. They got intimidated by you. Think of Homer Simpson going back into the bushes, right? He's like, I don't want anyone to see me. What happens is, and I can tell you firsthand from family members, my sister, right? My brother is the next category. But my sister, she was intimidated. Success started going, I didn't change. Still the same Jason. I still, drop F-bombs. I still get pissed off. I watch the Lions lose. I'm a Lions fan. Like, I'm still the same. But it's intimidating for someone who cares about you that sees you grow and they didn't grow. They didn't hate, but they're intimidated. I know there's been times I've been intimidated. I've been around people like, whoa, that's kind of intimidating. When I first started hanging out with some of the NFL players with the Lions, and Barry Sanders, who's my childhood hero. I'm a good friend of his now. We've done some TV commercials together. But when I first met him, I was like, it's Barry Sanders, right? I'm intimidated. But it happens. I've been around billionaires and people that have built their companies from the ground up that have done well, Grant Cardone, those kind of folks. Like, you get intimidated. That's okay, you're human. You're allowed to be intimidated. But you gotta get out of the intimidated and get to that category 1 I talked about, that success and love energy, because then you can elevate. When you're intimidated, you just watch people go by, you're sitting passenger. And that's a tough spot to be in. But the worst category to be in is the haters, right? Those that complain. Your success is their failure. I love my brother to death, but everything I've ever done in my life is his failure. He hates himself because of my success. He compares himself to me, and it's hard. There was a time I bought a nice home in Michigan. I was scared for my family to see it because I didn't want to hurt my brother's feelings. Here I am working my tail off, earning everything I've ever done. And I feel guilty. This has gone on for years. I mean, everybody should see a therapist. I see a therapist. She's like, look, you have this issue of feeling guilty that you're successful and your parents weren't, and that your brother's not. You feel like you owe everybody something and you don't. And I had to overcome these demons because I felt insecure because my success was hurting their feelings. And all that does is limit your success. Your success is your success. It should be other people's happiness that are elevating you and they can go with you. When they blame you for their failures, that's a them problem. They're watching you and they're in their own way. They're not making their own map. They're riding passenger or backseat, running their mouth while they're riding your map, and they're upset that it's not going their way. And this happens all the time. Family, friends, competitors, they always hate. I bring it up because I've got 3 girls and a son, and if a pretty girl walks in, My wife and daughter sometimes like, look at that, And I'm always like, why are you hating? She must be like, got lipo or did some drugs or something. Really? She's on crack. Look how skinny she is. Maybe she works out and eats right. Like, why are you hating, right? But everybody's been there. How many guys be like, oh, a guy pulls up in that car. Yeah, I know why he got that car. Like, why are you hating? We've all been there before. There's no reason to be there. You could just be like, man, dude, that's a bad car. Yeah, high five, man. What do you do for, like, get excited. When you get in that mindset, things change. You're not boxed in. We always get boxed in and hate on people. We should never hate on anybody. Now, we still will, but we shouldn't. We should really think positive, because do you want people to hate on you if you lost all this weight and you look great? Do you want people to hate on you if you buy a nice car, have a nice house, or you're successful, or you're adding employees, or you do big things? No. So don't hate on people. With my mother-in-law, bring her back. So when we were losing money and we sold the house and we put the $2 million in there in 2016, we were struggling. No paycheck, still paying the employees. I got three rules. Pay your employees first, your vendors second, reinvest. You don't pay yourself until long time away. That's how you build a company. Done it 3 times, that's the secret. But in this, I'm like, dude, this is so tough. Sold the house, what are we gonna do? My wife goes, well, hey, my mom's got some money. Do you want a loan from my mom? Hell no, I don't want to loan. I wouldn't pee on your mom if she was on fire, let alone take money from her, and God forgive me. Yes, that's what I said. I was fired up. There's no way I'm taking money from her. I'd rather get hit by a bus 4 times. Not a chance. Well, she's just going to give it. I goes, we don't need the money. What's she going to do? I just put $2 million back into the business. Well, she's got $100,000. I don't care. We don't need her $100,000. So I went back to work. I got a business partner, Kevin, who is my yin to my yang. We're the complete opposite, which is great. Partners should always be the opposite. That's how you grow. And I'm like, dude, believe Liz. Like, she's like, my mom can loan you money. Like, I just put $2 million. Like, what if we want her mom's money? And he goes, hey, I've got an idea. I'm like, no. He's like, no, listen. Why don't we take her money and we just put it in an account and don't touch it? In case we need it, let her make an investment. Does she want to invest? I said, well, Liz said she wanted to do a loan or invest. He said, have her invest, and if she loses, she loses. But if she wins, who cares? She wins. And I go, we don't really need her money. He goes, well, let's just take it, put it in an account and see, because what it's going to do, it's going to motivate you to not have to use her money. And if you do use her money, you're not going to feel that bad because you don't like her anyways. True. So I go back to Liz. If your mom really wants to invest, that's fine. So Tish comes over, and I go, look, we're going to take your $100,000. We probably don't need it. I'm going to put it in there. But if we lose it, like, we lose it. There is no like, oh, can I get it back? Like, I'm letting you know. Like, I bet on me. I'm putting all my money on me. But I'm going to put it in a separate account because I really don't want to use it. Well, use it for. No, I'm not going to. So we put it in a separate account. 5 years later, we made her a millionaire. 5 years later, I made my biggest hater in life that judged where I lived, that wouldn't let my first daughter be born, let me see her born, a frickin' millionaire. Cashed her out before we got too big and said, here, there you go. She's like, isn't it worth more than that? This is what you're getting, take it, run. So we took her $100,000, she made 10 times her money, she's now a millionaire. There's nothing better than turning a hater to a frickin' fan. There's nothing better than that. I have haters that work for me now, okay? So I have haters that work for me that doubted me in the security business, and doubted me in the solar business, and now they're like, I really want to get into solar. I'm not going to, come on, let's go. There's nothing like it. It's the best feeling in the world. And you don't have to hate them back. Love them back. Love your haters. Let them hate you because they're just going to elevate you. Team out. I was talking a little bit about this. Life is a puzzle. It really is. Each one of you are your own unique piece, and in your business, you're your own unique piece. And you can't have the same piece. It doesn't add up to the puzzle. You have to surround yourself with people that are different. Different things. Like, I realized growing this business, the first company ended up doing 12 million in sales a year, was the biggest. The second company was 36 million in sales. Pretty big. But now we do like 70 million a month, right? So it's like, whoa. Well, how do you get to that point? Well, that's a lot for an uneducated, no, Harvard degree or anything. No offense if that's where you went, to one of those Ivy schools, right? No offense. But it's hard for you to fathom. And what I've learned is, in 2017, when I mentioned our exploding growth, we got to a point that I was nervous. We were getting sales, and we were in waters that I wasn't used to. And the last thing I wanted to do is struggle for my team, right? You can't be selfish. This isn't about ego. And there were things that I didn't understand, like how to raise private equity. I didn't even know what the hell private equity was. A true story, I'm on record saying this all the time. 3.5 years ago, I didn't know what EBITDA was, and I built 3 companies. I didn't know. Some of you might know what EBITDA is, some of you might not know what EBITDA is. I just learned like 3 years ago, okay? Because we were always on a cash business, not accrual. We weren't GAAP, we weren't any of that stuff that I've learned over the past few years. But we were at a place in our business in 2017 where we needed private equity. And we needed private equity because every dollar we spent advertising, I know you guys can appreciate this, and every dollar we spent commission, we didn't get paid until it installed. Kind of like what you guys do. You don't get paid till it sells. You're investing in your clients. You're investing in your business, investing your time and your resources. It's the same thing. So when we were growing, we didn't have enough capital to continue to grow at the pace I wanted to grow because we were outsourced all of 70-80% of what the deal would cost us without seeing anything until install. And things take 2-3 months to install because you got permitting, interconnection, everything else. So I was like, we really got to raise some private equity, give away a small piece of the company, bring some cash in, and take it to the next level. So I told Kevin, my wonderful partner, right? I feel like I'm Batman and he's Robin. Hey man, we're going to hire a president, because he was president at the time. So we're going to hire a president that can come in, that's got some tenure, that has experience in private equity deals and public deals, and to help us raise private equity. We don't need that. Yeah, we do. No, we don't. We can do it. I said, dude, both of us didn't go to college. We're idiots. We're winging it. Okay, we're crushing it. But dude, we've got like 300 employees that depend on us. They have to put food on their table for their family. You think I'm going to pretend I know something that I don't know? How the hell are we going to get there? Dude, what are we going to do? Like, just trust me. Just trust me, dude. Do your marketing, smile, trust me, okay? So I interviewed this guy, Steve Murphy, a little older guy, he's about 65, 66, and he wowed me. Been in the healthcare business, built these corporations, private equity, and so we gave him a sweat equity deal with gain share type thing to where if he could raise capital, he would get some stock in the company, and he'd have that for the future. He came in and brought a lot of wisdom, right? He kept us between the buoys. It was a game changer. But I had to stick my ego to the side. This guy knew a lot more than I did in a lot of different aspects of the business. Of course, I knew how to do vision. I knew how to scale. I knew how to be efficient. I knew how to inspire and motivate. Steve wasn't that. But Steve knew how to build culture and an HR team and an accounting team and how to get us GAAP certified and how to really find us private equity to raise money. We ended up in 2018 doing a private equity deal with a company called Trivest that invested in the company, 25% of the company, brought several $1 million into the company for that. And that allowed us to expand to multiple states. We're in 16 states now. But had we not hired Steve, have I not stuck my ego to the side and have some humility to say, I don't need to be great at everything. I got to do this and bring somebody in that is smarter than me in different categories. That's how you grow. So when you're growing a business, I heard our buddy out there said, never go 50-50. I would agree, don't go 50-50. Like I still call the shots in my show, right? But you want to surround yourself with people smarter than you that bring something that you're lacking, because then you both win. And you want to give some kind of gain share or sweat equity so they're rowing for the same thing as you. You want to do that. That's how you build your business. Greed will only hold you back. And ego will crush you every single time. I've learned you got to stick it all to the side and be willing to do that. Now, we've got 6 executives on our team, including one that was a big hater back when he ran his alarm company, but he's our chief sales officer and he's a game changer. Makes a huge difference in our business. But we've also got a CFO, we've got a CLO, all these cool 3-letter words. We got them all, okay? But at the end of the day, I manage that team and I learn from every one of the team and I say, what can I do better? What would you like to see me do? Like, I ask them because I stick my humility to the side and what we call is team out. How do we win as a team? It's never about Jason. It's never about Steve or Kevin or Ben or Juan or any of those guys, right, on our team. It's about the brand. It's about the company. What is best for the company? What is best for the brand? Always protect the brand. When you do that, things get really good. And the last one is focus on the play-by-play. We all struggle in trying to learn the details, right? Like focusing on the small details that make a difference. You guys are in the networking business. It's really what it is. When you're in you're in real estate, whether it's commercial or residential, you're networking. You're selling yourself. You're selling a brand, cool logo, great perks. Look at us, we've done all these accomplishments. All that's important. But at the end of the day, you're selling yourself. You're in front of people every single day. And you have to treat every day as like a test on how I score better. How do I learn better, play by play? What can I learn from this opportunity that makes me better on the next opportunity, that makes me better on the next opportunity? Because every time you talk to somebody, it's never the exact same. There's always something that you can pick up on. Oh, hey, I see you like Clemson. Hey, I love ACC football. I don't, but I would say that if I walked into someone's house with a Clemson flag, right? You have to pick up on the little things that matter, that make a difference in when people make a decision to choose you over your competition. And that is focusing on the play-by-play. What is going to separate you from everybody else? Everybody can get a big brand name and put advertising in different books and brochures and make them look cool. But what makes you different? And when you focus on not one, not two, not three, but like 10 little things that make you different than the competition, and you share those and you tell them what's going to be the difference, that play-by-play that you're explaining to that consumer is a game changer. Because they're just going to, remember, they're making a decision. They're like, all right, well, they do good pictures, and hey, they sold this many there. How are you going to separate yourself? You don't want to be dictated because of a brochure or what people think. You want to be dictated based on your passion and your energy and the things that separate you. Again, the play-by-play. To be the champ, you got to focus on all the little details. That's what makes the biggest difference and impact in growing a company, in growing culture, in growing a team, in being successful, and overcoming adversity. Those are the biggest things that you can do. And I'll wrap it up by saying this. I love this comment. My co-host John LeBlanc brought it up, and I bring it up at almost everything I talk about because now I live by it. It's like one of the best mantras I've ever heard. But does anyone here know the difference between a cow and a buffalo? You do? What is it? He knows. Good. I'm going to tell the story. My man knows it. Good for you. So you've heard it that he knows. So a lot of people don't know. But I was on a podcast not too long ago with my co-host John, and he used to be my trainer at Lifetime in Michigan. And then he heard me talking about Power Home, and secretly behind my back, he applied for a job. And then when he applied to be the trainer. Now, he's a trainer, and he's trying to be the trainer of like $1 billion company. It didn't make sense. But he went and killed it so bad that the director called me. He's like, hey, do you know this John guy? I'm like, what John guy? He's like, John LeBlanc. I'm like, my trainer? He's like, dude, he applied for the training job and crushed it. Really? Dude, I've never seen anything like it. Should I hire him? Is that the right guy? I said, well, if you feel like you should hire him, hire him. So I lost my trainer. Go figure, right? Belly looks bad. But we gained somebody who was a game changer in there. But because of when you see a physical trainer, they're like your therapist. You complain and nag and, all the time, just, whatever. So he heard a lot of things. So we built this rapport. So when I had this podcast during COVID, I was like, John, get on here. Let's just chat. And so we were talking. He's like, in the middle of an episode, he says, hey, man, do you know the difference between a cow and a buffalo? I said, buffalo's bigger? I don't know. He said, no, when there's a storm brewing, rain, thunder, lightning's coming, a cow will actually run away from the storm. Right? I'll see it and run away from it. And when a buffalo senses the storm, the lightning, the thunder, and the rain, it runs right through the storm. And he said, and the biggest difference is when you're running away from it, that storm's over you a lot longer. When you run through it, it ends a lot faster. And so I put it in perspective. I took what he told me and I kind of added so many things to it. But think about this. When you have problems, when you're not getting the results you want, when you have these issues at home, you have these issues with a spouse, kid, whatever it is, financial problems, when you run away from it, you're getting anxiety, you're getting regret, you're getting all of these feelings, depression, insecurity that is just haunting you like that cow. The storm's just hovering over you and it's just destroying you. But when you turn around and you become a buffalo and you run right through that, you knock the wall down, you punch it right in the face, whatever the problem is, and you keep your eyes forward and you put it on its ass, you become a buffalo, the whole game changes in what you do in life. So I always challenge people, are you either going to be a cow or are you going to be a buffalo? And I think everybody in here can be a buffalo. Bam!